It's Challenge Day.
Welcome back, challengers. It's your boy Darwin Darko, and I brought with me some dope beats for you to step to. We got on the docket today Mereba with The Breeze Grew a Fire. We have IDK, ETDS, a mixtape by IDK. Ari Lennox with Vacancy. Don Toliver dropped Octane. Teezo Touchdown. This is a older project that I just got put onto, so we're doing this again. How do you sleep at night with you? So that's the deluxe version. We'll get into that in a second. But first, like and subscribe, please. That's how we grow the channel. I gotten recommendations recently from different folks, and I'm looking forward to. I just did one with Missio. All right, I did a review of Missio. If I dig the project, you know what I mean? Hey, I'll take the time, do the research, learn about the band, and I'll put it out there to help promote their work and their art. So go ahead and like and subscribe and leave your comments below for what you think about the albums that I'm going to review today, and some other project that you think may be worth a listen. With that said, a couple quick honorable mentions. We have more awards coming up. Is the Grammys. Specifically, it's important to us. This is what we do here. We review music, we review albums, some old, but mostly new stuff. And the Grammys is going on while I'm recording, so I don't know who the winners are. I can refresh this page and see if anything was announced, but I doubt it. Yeah, nothing's been announced, but I know what we're looking out for in terms of record of the year. Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Kendrick, Chaperone, and that's record of the year. Oh yeah, Rose, and Bruno Mars. So I'm not looking for record of the year. I was actually trying to look for album of the year. So let's see what record of the year while we're there. Record of the year: Bad Bunny, that Man Child, Anxiety, Wildflower, Abracadabra, Luther, Subway. For record of the year, it's probably either going to be Luther, Abracadabra, or Anxiety. Probably going to be Abracadabra. I'm going to say it's going to be Abracadabra because Lady Gaga is also nominated in some of these other categories, and I don't think she's going like for album of the year, for example. She's up there with Kendrick, Tyler, for Chromacopia. We got Clips, and Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Bad Bunny. First of all, that Justin Bieber album Swag has no business. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight. And all the albums had no business. It was fine. I didn't even review it here. Granted, I don't review everything, but bruh, Justin Bieber's album was fine. It was okay. He might have the storyline because he's got all these medical issues going on and stuff. He has no business there. Somebody else could have had that spot there. But for album of the year, the whole year, no, son. So with your main competitors here are going to be Bad Bunny, Let God Sort Him Out, and GNX. I say in GNX. Leon Thomas is up here with Mutt. I really love this album, and you know what I love the most? I love that it's nominated for album of the year. It's that good that it should have been nominated for album of the year. It can't win against this competition, and I think the genre is not as accessible or as appreciated to probably the voters for this sort of thing. So Mutt isn't going to win, but musically, in terms of musicality, it'll probably be between Mutt and Let God Sort Him Out, musicality wise. When we talk about all the other politics and all of the other like streaming, and we're talking about the rollouts that they had and like the media campaign that all people have, like Mutt Inc. is not like a musicality. Great, yes, but all the other stuff combined and all that, no, it ain't happening. So you're probably going to be album of the year. I'm gonna go with GNX because they love Kendrick, and it can't be Lady Gaga because she's gonna give her throw her bone and give her record of the year. She's gonna get her Grammy, but she ain't gonna get it for the whole project because the whole project wasn't that nice. Um, and Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend, it was nice, and she did the numbers, and she's got great. She's on SNL and all that kind of stuff, so she has great media. Um, but she just it ain't the heft of the album just isn't there. It's not like a world breaker like that. So I'm probably gonna go for album of the year is gonna be GNX. I do that specifically because I think rap album, I think Let God Sort Them Out leans way more to the voters as like a pure rap album, especially we're talking about drugs and all that kind of stuff, which Kendrick is a little bit more. There's a little bit of Kendrick that can be a little bit alt rap, right? You have a song like Luther, for example, that was on there, right? Uh, so there could be like a little bit of alt rap on there or a little conscious rap on there, and so I could see them passing that for album of the year to be like they're palatable to the people in the Grammys, and then for rap album, I think it's gonna be Let God Sort Them Out. I wish the spot that that either that Justin Bieber taking up here. I think the Jid album, God Does Like Ugly. I think that's what should have been up there over that. As a matter of fact, I think best rap, best hip hop, or let me see, what we got here? Where is it? Alt music, performance, R&B. Okay, what's R&B? R&B performance. Progressive R&B album. We have Bloom, Durand Bernarr, which we reviewed. Amazing. Oh, it won. Oh, we have some winners. This thing was just updated. We have some winners. Hold on here. Hold on. Okay, let me get to the top. Okay, back to the top. We have some winners. Tame Impala won for End of Summer. Dance electronic recording. They were up. They were up against Anderson Paak, No Cap, Victory Lap, Skepta, and Platboy Max, Kitchenada, and Skrillex. Dance electronic recording. So that's just one recording. Dance pop record recording. Abracadabra, Lady Gaga. Like I said. Yep. That's likely. Ooh, Eusexua. She won for the album. Yes, FKA Twigs. That shit was dope. I reviewed that joint and it was dope. It was that good. You check my review, and if this don't convince you of my catalog and how I do this shit here, nothing will. Okay, so that was dope. What's another winner? Progressive R&B album, Bloom by Durand Bernarr. That's so dope. I'm gonna be reviewing an artist a little bit later who collaborates with Durand Bernarr. That's dope. That's great for him. I reviewed that one. Check the catalog. Maybe I'll put a link or something like that. Up against Bilal, Flo, Terrence Martin, and Kenyon Dixon. Ooh, Come As You Are. That was a good one too. I reviewed that one. That one was dope too. R&B album, Mutt. There you go. Leon Thomas. Leon Thomas going for that joint. Up against Giveon, Coco Jones, Lettucey, which The Crown, that was freaking amazing. And Tiana Taylor. I don't think Tiana Taylor is that great of an artist, personally. That's just me. But Lettucey was dope. Coco Jones Project was dope. Why Not More? Giveon, dope. Leon Thomas won. That is the universe coming full circle and saying, yes, we recognize greatness. Dope. Dope for him. Give you Leon Thomas on that one. So yeah, you can't win album of the year. Probably shouldn't have been nominated for album of the year. That is great, but nah, not that one. Melodic rap performance, Luther. So they already got Luther, got a winner for best rap melodic rap performance. Okay. Rap performance, Chains and Whips. Pusha T and them, best rap performance. Okay. Rap song, TV Off. Jack Antonoff produced this joint. This is of course Kendrick joint. And we don't have rap album yet. So the nominees for rap album again are Let God Sort Them Out, God Does Like Ugly, JID, GNX, and Chromacopia. I'm sorry, Jid, and I'm sorry, Tyler, but this is just like tough. Glorilla, no, sorry, Glow. If anything, I think Yeah, that was a good project. For rap album. Yeah, that was a good project. Sorry. Let God sort them out, and God does like ugly. Ugly is just a tough year for you to try to do that. Oh, spoken word poetry album. I did. I met one of these dudes, Mark Marcel. I met Mark Marcel. I saw him at live here in the DMV area, and he performed some of the tracks from his spoken word poetry album. So he didn't win, but he was nominated. So you know, but shout out to him though. Anyways, that was great work. I listened to the project; it was dope. The winner is Mad Skills, Words for Days, Volume One. I actually didn't listen to that one. I listened to the other ones, Queen Sheba, the Amari Hardwick joint. I thought that was a heavy hitter right there. The Amari Hardwick and Anthony Hamilton. The problem there, I feel like it leaned a lot into Anthony Hamilton did it almost felt like 50-50 a little bit. So it might not have been a true spoken word poetry album. Not enough at least to get them over the top. But hey, shout out to Mad Skills. Words for Days Volume 1. Winner for that. Do we have any other big categories? I didn't think this was gonna be going this long, but do we have country? Any country album? Traditional country album winner Zach Top. Ain't in it for my health. Did not. Nope. I don't know. Charlie Crockett, that dollar a day joint. That dollar a day joint was heavy. So that's your country. Contemporary country album hasn't happened. Hasn't no winner announced yet. But Jelly Roll, Eric Church, Miranda Lambert, Tyler Childers. That's probably going to be Jelly. Maybe that'll probably Evangeline versus the Machine. That's probably going to be either Tyler Childers or Jelly Roll to win that one, the contemporary joint. Damn, there's a lot that I could get into stuff that I listen. Now, I listen to, you know, I review all this joint. I review all of these. I review a bunch of all these genres. I'm one of the few people that actually say when they say, "Oh, I listen to everything." I actually listen to everything, except this category here, children's music album. I don't listen to that. That may be something I need to look into. I did review a Gracie's Corner one. See, I even reviewed a Gracie's Corner project. Man, give me my like and subscribe. I'm doing too much work that I'm not getting credit for. Give me my like and subscribe right now, bro. Let's talk about IDK's ECDS mixtape, Even the Devil Smiles, a project that deserves serious attention. Born in London, but Jason Mills was raised right next door here in Maryland. IDK has been carving out his own lane in hip-hop for years, and this January released what might be the most refined statement yet. The DMV artist has always been known for sharp storytelling and thoughtful bars, but ECDS, which means Even the Devil Smiles, takes things further. It's deeply personal work that examines memory, intention, and the complicated spaces between struggle and self-reflection. Beyond the music, he's been expanding his creative footprint lately, collaborating with brands like Land Rover and positioning himself as more than just a rapper. He's becoming a multidimensional cultural voice, and this album reflects that evolution. The production here is masterful. IDK took an active role in crafting the sound, drawing inspiration from classic mixtape aesthetics while filtering everything through a contemporary personal lens. Shout out to folks dropping projects in January. However, why is this a mixtape? Why isn't this just like yo, this is my okay? Maybe there's okay. It's the politics of this. This project is so well put together. This project is so well performed, curated, that it should just be just this legit album. He titles it Even the Devil Smiles, a mixtape by IDK. ETDSD, a mixtape by IDK. Like she's just saying straight up, this is a mixtape. I appreciate that because oftentimes when I'm reviewing projects, I see a project and I'm like, I find out later that it's a mixtape. It's not an actual project. So I'm like, that's different. And like, you're not gonna be received the same way. You don't have as much. For example, when JID had that one track that he had to clear some of the samples from. We heard the stories about what he had to go through to talk to the family, to talk to the one pastor about using those vocals for clearing his project. But when it's a mixtape, not so much. Which is still kind of weird because it's streaming nowadays. So streaming, I like, do the artists still get a percentage of the streaming? It's a mixtape. Before a mixtape, you can sell it on the street. It's like whatever. They're not quote unquote making projects on it, making a profit on it, right? So it couldn't go commercial. You can sell on the street, but you couldn't be commercial. But there's some stuff going on this project, and there's some sampling going on, and there's some remixes going on that it's interesting that it makes the song interesting, but they probably, I don't know if they got clearance for all that stuff. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second. But this thing is produced so clean that I'm like, this is better than people's full length projects. And this joint is a mixtape. The production is elite. The collaborators we got K-Tronada on here. We got No ID, Madlib, Conductor Williams, all contributed to this thing, creating a sonic landscape that moves through soulful and experimental highs and I wouldn't say highs and lows. It's just like these different phases, but it's still all cohesive. A note about the emotional architecture of this thing. The album it unfolds like a narrative, with tracks progressing through introspective moments. There's tension, vulnerability, and then eventually a resolution. The sequencing creates natural momentum. Again, why it should be just a straight up, this is IDK's latest album. Let's talk about the generational dialogue that's also happening here. Parts of the conversation happening is with hip hop's legacy. Black Thought has a feature. Pusha T has a feature. Posthumously, DMX has a feature. MF Doom is on this project. Again, so these are the reasons why it's probably a mixtape, because there's probably a lot of legality between all these different voices making an appearance here. Particularly when you, but I understand that he did get the blessing of DMX's I guess estate, to feature. But this was okay. So here's the story. Yeah, I'll put a little bit of it here. So, as you can see, you kind of got the blessing. You know what I mean? This was a legit feature that he got. It was for something else, something previously, and he's using it, but it's posthumously used. So then now you have to go through the estate to get the permission. So, shout out to DMX for recognizing talent, freaking early talent. So love that. One of the tracks that folks should definitely check out is Halo. This is going to be your second track, the second track on the project. This one's produced by No ID. It happens to be, opens the project. It's setting the tone from the jump. It's smooth. The soul sampling production on here is dope. IDK establishes the reflective headspace that defines the much of the project. The lyrics on this thing, the one part of the lyrics that I love to point out is towards the end on this thing, where he goes, and I'm in the day room, right? My man from the South Side was listening to this. Yo, he's bobbing his head like this. So I put the headphones in my man ear. He got to dancing like shit. That joint catchy as a motherfucker. So it's so dope the way he put this whole project together. I got a little bit more of his story in a second, but we'll put a pin in this. Plot twist. Plot twist. Put a pin in that. Rewind back to 2010 in front of the judge for my sentence. State gave me 15 and they dropped the gavel. Could have got away with 3, but I wouldn't tattle. Made parole and then I got out early. Hit the studio with low and had to rock out sturdy. That's why it's real in my eyes. I made it here. No surprise. If I did the whole time, I'd be out in 2025. We just got into 2026. This was like 2025. That's when he would have been out of prison. But he got out early and was able to craft this project, and you're calling it a freaking mixtape? Bro, that's track number 1. Another track you should check out definitely is freaking P.O. Of course, you'd have a track called P.O. with Black Thought is on here, produced by Kid Trinata. This is where the album flexes its lyrical muscle, bringing in Black Thought, hip hop's most well-respected technical MCs. I think he's my number 1 in terms of technique, in terms of straight skill, rap skill, MC is Thought. IDK creates a meeting of minds on this project across different eras, again, giving tribute to the legends. This is different eras of conscious rap we're talking about. The chemistry between the artists elevates the entire track. Each of them has a verse that's building on the last. Liquid Jordy, by the way, is also featured on this joint. And he adds another dimension, creating a 3-way dialogue that feels like a masterclass in wordplay and flow. The production matches the intensity, hard-hitting drums, compelling sample, gives the MCs something substantial to rap over. This track stands as one of the album's peak moments in terms of just pure bars. Yeah, I got him switching sides to the getting money side. I see it in her eyes. They only see her thighs. She out to set me up, so they hit me up. Been bright as days that's sunny since I sipped the sippy cup. Fuck all the accolades. Fuck all the allegations. Let's see the evidence. If you ain't catch me in the act, it's irrelevant. If you ain't catch me in the motion, then I'm motionless. They want to see me in a box or want to see me dead. They see it equal, though I want to see it later less. The thought of breaking down them ounces add an ounce of stress. Bruh. Let's go. They see equal, though I want to see the later less. The thought of breaking down them ounces add an ounce of stress. Either way, I hustle on the block until I cash the check. It ain't no check when you hustle on the block, but I feel you, right? Jump outs giving pop quizzes. I'ma pass the test. Man, that boy there wasn't. But then of course, Thought wasn't about to let that shit just fucking. Wasn't about to let that shit ride. He jumps in. Hey, I'm one of them. I paid the price. Now I live life above the rim. I'll show you how to separate the rock from the gem. From Philly, where it's people getting popped on a whim. Pray you not one of them. With your spot run up in. I know what's more powerful, the pistol or the pen. I'll show you how to separate them boys from the men. The dollar from the pound, from the euro, from the yen. With just a tug of tie knot, tilt of the brim. So when them stakes is high like stills, I'ma win. In spite of hate from blood that was built kind of thin. Careful who you befriend. They will switch up in the end. When intentions all along was just to have you broke with them. That's why I keep them jokers guessing. They ask me my profession. I tell them I'm manifested. They check for my direction. I change it. I'm ambidextrous. My balance, I'll never be anorexic. Now I'm eating while I'm beating up the la 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 don't she bro bars Baruza. Hello, are you fucking listening? Are you fucking listening? So shout out to DMX, shout out to MF, shout out to freaking Thought. Like real, recognize real. And some of y'all looking fucking unfamiliar. You ain't got features from all of that. Why is this a mixtape? The shit makes no sense. You got Pusha T coming up with Life for a Life. Life for a Life is gonna be, where that joint come up at? Life for a Life is is third to last track. Everybody know we don't play. Starts off that joint like that. This Pusha T collaboration represents a bridge between different schools of hip hop. We talk conscious rap and freaking coke rap on one track. It explores themes of conscious karma and the cycle that defines street life and personal growth. The production gives both rappers space to command attention with a beat that's menacing. It's sophisticated. And these boys is spitting on this joint. The last track on this project is Scrambled Eggs, TBC, to be continued, pretty much what they talk about there. It closes out the project. This is a somber reflection that bridges everything full circle. Again, so freaking cohesive. This is a conductor joint, right? At the end of this thing here. Landing the fucking plane. The track deals with consequences of karma, deals themes of that thread through the entire thing. It's melancholic. The tone provides closure while leaving certain questions unresolved because AKA is to be continued, right? In the title, it suggests that it's not an ending. It's just a pause and ongoing. So, bruh, if this is just your mixtape, what the project finna be like? What the project finna be like when you got all the clearances, when you got all the time to like let that joint breathe? This is the type of project that you put out when you're trying to convince your the label that you're worth the investment, or whoever's backing him. I'm not even sure if he's independent. Let me see. No, he's not. He's man, let me see. IDK record label. Warner. He's with Warner Records. Okay, so, bruh, I can't see anybody who's legitimately supposed to be like finding talent at Warner, listen to this project and not being like, oh yeah, you know, here's a check. It's blank. I haven't written anything. Do what you gotta do. Let me get that project. Let's make it 12 to 15 tracks. Get your features that you gotta get. Whatever, get your clearances, get your samples, and let's ride. Cause like, yo, this project is that freaking dope. Lands the plane and everything. It's thoughtful in the way that it concludes everything. It avoids a neat resolution in favor of just honest uncertainty. He was uncertain about his whole life and his whole trajectory when he was facing that time. But he got out, and the production here is stripped back to allow him to tell his story pretty much unbothered, unblocked. This project rewards your engagement. It rewards a focused solo session with quality headphones. Let the beat knock, but also let the turn the treble up so you can parse out the wordplay and the production details. This is music for hip hop heads who appreciate substance, who appreciate when an artist opens up without sacrificing craft. Jason isn't just making songs here. He's creating an immersive experience that invites you to his to his headspace. That level of artistic intention is rare. It's rare, man. This is a special project, and it deserves, and it's worth your listen, and it is worth celebrating. There are albums that arrive quietly but leave a lasting impression. Records that don't demand your attention so much as invite it. The Breeze Grew a Fire by Mereba is one of those projects. It's introspective, it's warm, and deeply personal. A meditation on growth, motherhood, heritage, and the relationship that anchors us all. Marian's journey as an artist has always been rooted in boundary crossing. She's raised in Alabama, grew up in Pennsylvania, gets back and forth between Alabama and Pennsylvania, but her Ethiopian heritage has been woven throughout her entire story. She now calls LA home. Her 2019 debut, The Jungle, is the Only Way Out, introduced listeners to her ability to blend soul, folk, rap, R&B into something distinctly her own story. 6 years later, The Breeze Grew Fire marks her return with a more grounded, reflective perspective. In her words, motherhood helped shape this new stage in her story in profound ways, bringing new clarity to her songwriting and a deeper sense of purpose. This album reflects that shift. It's less about providing something and more about honoring the quiet moments that spark transformation. Sonically, sonically, The Breeze Grew Fire is intimate. It's textured. Produced by Mereba herself with longtime collaborator Sam Hoffman. You may recognize him from Grammy-nominated Durand Bernarr, right? Shout out to Durand. We reviewed his project Bloom, and I'll drop a link in the notes. This album leans into the folk, pop, and soul, favoring this warm overall polish. Acoustic guitar forms the backbone, while subtle world instruments, including the karar strings, nods to Mereba's Ethiopian roots. What stands out is the intentionality of using space as almost like space itself is an instrument. The production doesn't overcrowd, it breathes. Every vocal inflection, every pause feels deliberate, creating this sense of closeness, like you're sitting across from Marina as she reflects aloud. Dope track you should check out. Starting off, Counterfeit. This is the opener. It establishes the album's ethos, the authenticity shines through. It's funky. It's this affirmative groove. Ever Needed follows that right away. And that joint talks about loyalty. It's an anthem that balances gentle rhythm with emotional weight. She says on this joint, past my luck for brighter days. It's a vicious cycle. Every night I close my eyes for the reason why. It's been a bumpy ride. Should I have made a right or ran through that light? Waiting for the light to change. You'll be clocking in late. Fuck them people anyway. Forget all of them, but not you. I will sit outside on your stoop. If you ever needed me to, I'd ride. I'll be there for you. I will be. I will be. I'll be there for you. I will be. I will be. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. And if you ever need it. And if you ever need it. And if you ever needed love. If you ever need something like that, right? And so that's a dope track. Uh, Next dope one comes up right after that. Not right after that, but like a couple tracks later is White Dove. This is soulful. It's nostalgic. It has these lush arrangements that just like linger throughout. And of course, we'd be remiss to not shout out the actual title track, which is Breeze Grew Fire, and this one is more of a spoken word. Is more spoken word poetry. Never slowed long enough to see what the wilderness took from me. The scars etched into my soul's skin looked like elegance from the outside. My eyes' blinds began to close, but what kept light from leaving kept it from coming in too. Breath stoic and straight through bends and bitter endings, broken without ever breaking character. I hadn't predicted the chipping away. The rib splits away from one side of me to the other. The clipping and how grief's grip gets mistaken for strength and a stiff lip. I breathe slowly, stirring its way to my spirit, a calm reminder of who I was before the weight. The dreams are fast and shimmery as a big midnight sky. Soft breeze brought my burning thing back to life. A passion set aside someplace deep inside of me. And as she left, all she sang was her sweet and gentle song. Shout out to spoken word in the middle of a project. But it would take someone like Mereba to slip that in just like that. And we shout out to go back and watch the honorable mention. We talked about the spoken word artists that were nominated for Grammys and that won the Grammys. I met one of the dudes and he didn't win that Grammy for the spoken word, but his project was still dope. I recommend you check it out. What's another dope hit on this thing? We have Spirit Guiding. Spirit Guiding is another track that falls a little bit later on the project. This one is introspective. It's one of these moments that explore ancestry, innocence, and self-discovery. The production serves the narrative overall. It's unassuming yet profound, reflective without dragging the vibes, without dragging you down. So, what does the breeze grew a fire feel like? Picture this: late afternoon, light filtering through trees, a quiet walk where thoughts start to untangle, or a conversation with someone who is a listener and is there to just let you just like unload, right? This album exists in those moments. It's calm, it's present, it's honest. Do yourself a favor, find a quiet moment, maybe a peaceful corner where you can close your eyes and just be. Let the album unfold as let the album unfold at its own pace. Let the texture settle around you. Let it do its thing. It's not asking you to feel a certain way. Instead, this thing is inviting you to sit with whatever you're carrying, whether that's change, grief, joy, or discovery. The title itself, The Breeze Grew Fire, right? The title itself speaks of transformation. How something as gentle as a breeze can ignite something powerful within us. Mariam Mereba has crafted a deeply human record with this project, and I feel that it'll stay with you longer than you even expect. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like and subscribe, and let me know what your favorite track is on this project. Don Toliver's Octane, a project that feels less like a comeback and more like a controlled burn. Don has never been an artist who rushes at you. He glides, he hums. He lets the beat do half the talking and the melody finish the sentence. If you've been tracking his run, you already know the arc. Houston roots, Travis Scott's Cactus Jack orbit, a voice that sounds like it's permanently floating like 3 feet above the floor. Over the years, Toliver has carved out his own lane. Psychedelic, trap, emotional but never messy, flashy but still reserved, with an ever-present hint of country you can distinctly hear, specifically on that final track, Sweet Home. A little bit more on that later. Lately, in his career, what he's been up to, actually, he's been pretty steady. Things been going pretty steady for your boy. Career-wise, he's coming off a strong touring stretch and continued mainstream momentum following his recent releases. On a personal front, the man is in a settled phase of life, partnered with Kaliukis, another artist who I've featured in the past. He's stepping into fatherhood, moving with the calm confidence of someone who knows exactly who he is. No chaos, no headlining, chasing, antics, just motion, positive motion. Octane sounds like that phase. It's focused, it's polished, it's grown. Let's talk a little bit about the production, because this is where the album really flexes its muscle. First key detail, the beats are sleek. Heavy basses, ever present. Bamming in your whip, ever present. But it's not reckless. The production leaves space for Don's voice to stretch, echo, or melt into a track whenever it needs to. Nothing ever feels overcrowded. Another thing, the strong blend of course, trap, R&B, psychedelic textures, the genre blending that he's doing here, the synths that come out feel warm. They're not, they're not sharp and like abrupt. The drums is knocking, but they don't rush. This is production built for movement. Like I said, man, having that joint in the whip, hopefully you have some nice bass in that joint. Maybe a long highway ride. This album stays sonically consistent throughout the entire run. And this run is, how long is this thing? This thing is 50 minutes. It's a 50-minute run. You got 18 tracks on this thing. Don picks his lane. He sticks to it and owns that freaking joint. One of my joints that I've been running back is the track Secondhand. Secondhand is a little bit mid section of the project. It's one of the album's emotional anchors. The beat leans into melancholic, glitchy textures with a sappy sample that creates an almost cinematic atmosphere. Don, he delivers one of the most addictive choruses on this entire project, on this track right here, while Rima's contribution blends seamlessly without overshadowing. The chemistry feels effortless. It's reflective without losing momentum. It's a rare balance that shows his range. Tiramisu, this one is gonna be the most played, I think, yeah, 23 million plays. Yeah, that big guy, 23 million plays. And it's a radio hit. I get it. I see the textures of it. It's not my favorite track, but it's the lead single, and it is one of the more refined moments. Like I said, it's made for the radio. It was released back in September. The track becomes an instant favorite because of the atmospheric blend and the romance and melancholy that's laced throughout. Cardo's production is laid. It's without being overdone, giving Don the perfect canvas to glide between singing and rapping. Rosary is another joint. This one got Travis Scott on it. It's a really unexpected detour because it's a bit more clearly R&B of the 2000s kind of era. Those vibes there. There's a female on there doing vocals, and that sample on there, it just anchors the whole production. Both Travis and Don step outside their typical zones here, harmonizing and crooning in ways that feel surprising, but it's effective. It works. I can see why an A&R would sign off on this one and push this one. That's dope. But bruh, that beat on Opposite, it's the fourth to the last. Oh my God. That beat on opposite. That boy said that thing say, drop the octane in the styrofoam. Keep the nine Beretta, it's a two-tone. No talking G6, she wanna eat shit. She driving V6, I'm out in Venus. Baby sexy, she wanna, ooh, out in Tijuana, I'ma tell the truth. They say, why would I mind? I hit instead, right down the block in the car instead. 200,000, it's on my head. I'll still get money when I'm gone and dead. And then the die joint go da 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 da. Almost like when Manny Fresh dropped that beat. Think of that the snares and then like and then there boom, boom. And then there's a wow. It does one of those like clearly Houston sounds on like when you like chop and screw some joint, right? That on repeat. Like so how many plays this joint got? How many plays? That joint got that big got 457K plays. I'm probably 200K. I'm probably 200K on that joke. That bit is knocking. That bit is knocking. If my boy Alex is listening, he knows me and my boy Alex. But if a beat is knocking, you got our attention. Shout out to Alex. You know what I mean? He's an artist out there doing this thing in Dubai. Shout out my boy. I gotta show up for him one day out there. But let me know what track you repeat. Let me know what track you got on rinse and repeat, bro. And also while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe. But beyond these highlights, the album maintains a strong pacing throughout. Like I said, the opening stretch sets the tone fast. It's confident, atmospheric, like the engine that just turned over. The mid-album run leans heavy into melody and emotion, riding these slower tempos without losing energy. Towards the end, you get tracks that just feel reflective, still glossy, but more personal, like the night winding down. Once you get past that opposite track, that is, because that joint is litty. This bit is full of the whole album is a lot of energy. There's no fillers here. You can let it play straight through. Even though I didn't necessarily hit the like button on every track, but the whole album is played through. It's gonna be one of his classics. It feels like a luxury experience in motion. Windows down. We're talking about the city lights blurring, your confidence without explanation. The best scenario probably to experience this joint is, like I said, beating down the block, beating down the highway, letting that joint bam in your trunk. Maybe with someone who doesn't need conversation. You got a partner with you, you got a homegirl with you that just does there for the vibes and they understand the assignment. It ain't no time to be holding no conversation because this joint is about to drop. This beat about to drop. Bruh, sis, this beat about to drop and they understand the assignment. Other than that, do it on your own because this thing is the kind of listen where you don't skip. You don't just let it play. You let it arrive and you arrive with it. And when you arrive in a little bit more wavy than when you left. Octane isn't about proving Don Toliver belongs on the scene. That's not a question. He was already solidified years ago. This album is about comfort in his lane. It's a little bit like showing off. This is an artist settling into his sound, his life, his space, and his pace. The singles prove he can make hits if that's what you're looking for. But the deep cuts prove he can build atmosphere, and the whole project just proves he's operating at a level most artists never even reach, never even dare to dream. Ari Lennox has always lived in that space where classic soul meets modern honesty. From her early work that put her voice front and center to projects that explored love, distance, and self-worth, she's built a career on sounding like herself, even when that's messy. funny, or even tired. Vacancy continues that story, but sharper. This album sounds like an artist who knows her value and is no longer rushing to explain it. There's um there's space here. Space in the songs, space in the feeling, space for the listener to sit and breathe, but also there's weight. The kind that comes from living through something and coming out on the other side with more discernment. As for the latest in Ari's life and career, she's been open about protecting her space. She's talking about pressures of the industry, the need for rest, and choosing creativity over constant visibility. Career wise, she's still moving forward on her own terms, touring selectively, collaborating carefully, and staying vocal about artist well being. That mindset shows up all over this project. Let's talk about how Vacancy sounds. Three key production details that really stood out to me. First, it's warm, it's stripped down. The instrumentation, the beats don't crowd her voice. We got live bass. We have these soft keys, gentle guitar lines. Everything feels intentional, like the music knows when to step the fuck back. Another thing, uh, the vocals stay human. You hear her breaths, you hear cracks. The mixing doesn't polish away the emotion. That's a choice, and it's a smart one. Third thing, the tempo is controlled. This joint doesn't rush. The mid-tempo grooves dominate with slow jams that stretch. They stretch just as long enough for the feeling to land, as long as it needs to stretch, without spoiling the whole experience. A couple of these tracks really stood out to me. Opening joint, Mobbin in DC. This is the opener. She pays homage to her roots. Shout out to DMV. You know, the DMV has been knocking, bro. Folks in Maryland, VA. Of course, we got the clips up for the nomination. I don't know if they've. Oh man, did I close that screen? I don't know if the clips won yet or if they're about to, but they're gonna win something here. You know what I mean? But like VA and the DMV area, man, shout out to that. Vacancy is the second track on this project. This joint sets the tone. Um, we're talking about it's open space, it's emotional honesty. The clear message is about not filling your space with the wrong people just because you want to fill space, right? My favorite track on this joint is is Under the Moon, which is the fourth one down here. Right now it has 1.1 million plays. The highest played track on here is Soft Girl Era. I guess the ladies are the girlies are got that on heavy rotation, but Under the Moon is 1.1 mil. And this one's actually been out since I think this one's been out since September 2025. So it's probably a reason why it's got even extra spins. But this joint is a nocturnal theatric groove that shows off her vocal range. Mommy is on this joint yodeling. Black woman yodeling. Shout out to you. Straight from a Hollywood scene. Licked his teeth like I was a cuisine. He was sweet to a T, begging me for a treat. Felt a suspicious mystique. Something's giving me the creeps. Nah, I'm tripping. I'm so smitten. Nah, I'm dripping. Started kissing. And she gets into the chorus, and she's freaking yodeling on this thing. Under the moon with you. So majestic. Fucking vicious. Under the moon with you. So majestic, fucking vicious. Like a werewolf when you're in it. Under the moon. Oh, that falsetto voice. She hit that joint under the moon. Like I'm addicted. So horrific, and you kill it, and you murder it. Silver bullet through the bullshit, ripping my clothes, hands on my throat. Know I should go, pulling me close. I don't feel right. Now he's preying on my life. Intuition never misses. This should be some like, this should low key be some like Thriller, Michael Jackson type joint, right? And she's got a music video for it. I mean, I think I probably should put it in now, or maybe I'll put it in a second earlier. I don't know. But there's a video for it. And, you know, it's giving Thriller, but it's like it don't really lean all the way, man. Like she could really low key come up with like a whole dance like Thriller did. This is for sure a Halloween. Oh, this joint came out in September. The single I think dropped in September. So like it wasn't time for Halloween. I think I did see it around the time of Halloween. Cause in the video they turned into the werewolves kind of thing. So they did kind of lean into the Halloween motif. It's freaking amazing. And she's yodeling in here. Ah, she does a thing on there, man. Love that. Ari is just dope at these like unique kind of like takes on some traditional sounds. This one's a little bit more like not barbershop quartet, like what is it? It's a little bit Motown Shiba like I forgot what that particular genre is called, but there's overall this album, there's this mid album groove that feels playful, but it's a little bit guarded, but it's classic Ari. It's humor layered with grown woman boundaries. The closing stretch leans into reflection, songs that sound like night drives, maybe something under dim lights, honest conversation with yourself. This is a time to put some of this stuff on. So the overall vibes, vacancy feels like choosing yourself without making an announcement about it. It's soft power. It's confidence without noise. This isn't the loudest album of the year. Not sure it's gonna make the biggest splash either necessarily. I don't know what the charts are looking like since it dropped. But Ari isn't really looking to be trendy, and she's trying to trend. She's looking to last. She's making music to last the test of time. Hence the freaking Under the Moon track, which is just like Mariah Carey has her Christmas joint, the test of time. This is going to be, these tracks is going to be on in your rotation, just with like Howling Wolf, right? She put a spell on me because you're mine, or even the Monster Mash, right? Or even Thriller, right? This is going to be on that playlist, and right now it is going to be at the top of whatever Halloween or spooky season playlist that you might be putting together, especially like this or a romantic joint. Dang, we should put together romantic. Well, like is dang, I don't know. We might be able to put together a spooky romantic playlist. I might need to put that on the agenda. Something to do this coming fall. Now my work, and this track is gonna make the list. This sounds like a work of somebody who is definitely gonna stand the test of time. This album doesn't have anything to prove except its existence. I am here. She's announcing it. Give this thing a listen. And you can thank me in the comments now. Diving into one of the boldest genre experiments in recent hip hop, Teezo Touchdowns. How do you sleep at night with you? I know, I'm mad late. A little background for the newly initiated like myself. Aaron LaShane Thomas, aka Teezo Touchdown, emerged from Beaumont, Texas, with a sound that refuses easy categorization. His music sits somewhere between hip hop swagger, R&B smoothness, punk rock, raw energy, even alt rock's experimentalism. He's collaborated with major artists and earned recognition. Artists like Travis Scott, and he actually was I think Apple Music has these like up next artists. So this is like a distinction reserved for breakthrough talent. The original How Do You Sleep at Night dropped in late 2023. 4 months later, the deluxe version, which is this one right here that I got to listen to, um, subtitled With You, arrived with three additional tracks functioning almost as companion pieces to the original work's themes. What makes this project compelling isn't just the music itself, it's what it represents. This is an artist actively resisting categorization, creating space for his vision on his terms. The production on this project uh, clearly reveals this ambition. The producer lineup reads like a genre spanning dream team. We're talking Raisin, Sad Pony, Y2K, Dylan Brady, amongst others, each bringing distinct sonic signatures that collide and complement throughout the entire track list. The result is an album um, that that pivots from arena-sized rock instrumentation to whisper quiet R&B intimacy, often within the same track. What's particularly striking is the production's conversational quality, how it juxtaposes aggression with tenderness, confidence, um, and uncertainty. These sonic contrasts don't feel it don't feel accidental. They mirror the emotional complexity of the lyrical content. Key tracks that I've been running back. First off, the Janelle Monae joint. She's featured on the second joint on this thing. This opens with this assertive percussion that's followed by some deep bass before dissolving into layered vocal harmonies that showcase both artists' range. Mood Swings is another fire joint. Lives up to its title with tonal shifts that feel playful rather than disjointed. Familiarity is going to be the ninth track on the project. The whole thing runs about 48 minutes, by the way, 17 songs. Familiarity carries an uplifting sort of energy that reads like personal mythology, examining the relationship between ambition and identity. Let's go. Starts like so with God. I hate Mondays. I'm overworked and underpaid. I'm a little old for roommates. I think it's time to find my own place. I believe in aliens. I don't believe in luck. I'm running, grinding, jumping, climbing, but I still feel stuck. I know that I'ma make it, baby. No if, ands, or buts. I know that I'm a superstar, but no one's looking up. Goodbye, mama. I gotta chase these bands. Goodbye, daddy. Hope you understand. Trust me, baby. I got a plan. I'm not coming back home until I'm a man. That joint is on repeat for me. But even more so is the original was better. The original was better is the closing track from the original project. And it's funny because like when you get the extended version that has these other three songs, it's not the closing track anymore. But it's like the way the song is talking about the original is better, and then it kind of shits on the next songs that come after that. But I still enjoy the added joints that they had on there. But man, there's a random ass uh, drum bass dance movement that happens like mid track out of nowhere, and that freaking beat drops, and you just want to bang your head into a freaking wall and just break through that joint. It is beautiful. So the in the extended project, you get an addition of the track called Up and Down, which I think is dope, and Third Class, which I love. Out of Respect, not a big fan of that one. Seems, I mean, I like the fact that it feels DIY, but yeah, it's just not as sticky as the other ones. These tracks, strip away from some of the bombast of the more meditative rhythm driven explorations that happened throughout the previous original project. But it's a fine out of 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Two out of three is not bad. The best description I can offer about the feel of this project is anxious and optimism in motion, un unadulterated, just fun and just like passion, just like raw talent. The man is into his art. He's into his aesthetic, and he doesn't apologize for it. This isn't a project that settles into a single emotion. It's a little bit all over the place, but it demands active engagement so you can freaking keep up. It's asking listeners to meet Teezo Touchdown where he's at in the spaces of contradiction, braggadocio alongside confession. We're talking about celebration next to questioning, right? Where some critics might, depends on the project because I do this sometimes too, but where some critics might fault it for a lack of, total cohesion, I recognize something raw and authentic that's happening on this project. This is an artist that's comfortable existing in that multi-dimensional space simultaneously. Everything, everywhere, all at once. This project succeeds because he embraces that ethos. It rewards listeners that are willing to mix it up in the cockpit all the way to the mosh pit. Like and subscribe for more joints like this, even if it's in, I'm digging through the crates to find a Teezo Touchdown a couple years afterwards. Like, if you haven't heard it in a while, if you're an original fan of this project and you haven't heard it in a while, this is your reminder to tap right back in.